What's up, everybody? How are we doing today? How's it going? Hope you guys are doing good. We're going to be painting a drow today. You can see the mini a little bit right here. Don't mind my giant thumbs. Let's see. See, so I already have it primered. I have it ready to go. And it doesn't have a base yet. The base is actually right here. We're going to be starting with the base. And you'll see the base has, go ahead and set her down. The base has this little leg right here. And that is supposed to be a spider leg, right? So what I'm going to be doing is this very small thing, but I have the spider that I've already painted, you know, take a look at it. I can go ahead and set it up here, that way I'm not just holding it the whole time. Right. And what we can do is the spider is missing a leg. You see it's missing one of its front legs. So in theory, I accidentally broke this while I was printing it. That's why the spider lost its leg. What I want to do is now canonically make this the leg that it lost. See? It's stupid. It's a very small thing, but it's that little thing that makes me smile, you know. So that's what we're gonna do. That is canonically the spider's missing leg. It was cut off by this character right here. But that being said, what I'm getting at here is I'm going to use this spider as a reference, and I'm going to try to match its leg with, or this leg on the base of the mini with the spider legs that I have here. So looking at it, you see that there is a hint of green under some brown, and then there is a black top with like this maroonish brown end of the claw. So we're going to try to match that is what we're going to do here. Alright. And then once we paint the base, I guess I will be back to explain a little bit more about the mini. Alright. Well, I was sitting here thinking just now that I want to use these 4 colors, right? I just said that I wanted to try to match the spider, okay? And I told you about the black, the brown, green, and black and red. That's cool, that's good. But let's also take a look at this. This is the kind of thing that Scott's gonna kill me for. He's gonna tell me that it doesn't really matter, and it kills me that it does matter to me. But there's little indents. It's kind of hard to see here, but there's little indents on here. And it would be easy to just like paint this whole area. We'll use the edge of this brush. It would be easy to paint this whole area around the spider leg as brown and green and just call it a day. But I also actually want to use this Castle Gray to add very small little just rocks in little pieces. And then I'll go over it with a wash, and you know, it should make that stand out a little bit more. I think that'll just give a little bit more life to the base, because I love to give more of an idea of the atmosphere that they're in, you know. so now we're gonna let the leg dry for a second. You see, I painted it green. I painted the leg green at first, and what that did was that created like the base paint for it. Again, using this little guy as reference, you'll see that we can use like his butt a little bit for this. You can see there's hints of green coming out of it. So the way I painted this guy, you can see it also with the legs some, and like some of the crevices. What I wanted to do with this guy was I painted him green at first, but it felt too unnatural. So I'm trying to follow the same mentality that I had, where I painted him green, I then went over it with a brown. I went over it loosely with the brown. You can see here that there's like hints of the green showing, and that's the goal for me. I want that green to show out just a little bit, ever so slightly. I don't want it to be obvious. I want it just to be in there a little bit. So now that we've gone over it with brown, I painted it green first so that it had that base coat, and then I knew I was going to go over the whole thing with brown. Now that we painted it brown, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the screen. We're going to let this dry, go back to the green, and we're going to kind of brush over everything around it. We're going to try not to touch the leg this time. And then we will ever so carefully paint the leg black and kind of get the edge over this claw-like area, that maroon red that we're going for. After that, I guess we'll touch up some stones and throw on a shader for this, and then the base will be done. Often my paints tend to take 3 to 4 hours, and I think that's because I literally do one thing at a time. So we're actually going to try to maximize time a little bit here. You guys don't have to agonizingly watch me so long, I guess. And we're actually going to start to touch on the drow's feet. What I want to do is I want to paint the bottom of the drow so that I can then immediately glue it to the base once I'm done painting it. So we might as well get started with that. The thing is here, I don't actually want to use the same color brown that I'm using for the ground. I could, because this is all going to be coming out as green. I'm going to be going over it with this Feywild Emerald. Thoughts. I actually think I like that better. And then what I'll do is I'll save this Minotaur hide brown for her belts to give like an accent brown to it. friendly reminder for you guys at home, anybody who deals with any sort of wash, like what we just had, like the shadow wash, any sort of wash, remember it takes a bit longer to dry than your normal paints. So kind of keep that in mind. I am going to take a moment to talk about this character. So, you know, she's going to be a drow, which means she's going to have purple skin. So that's cool. What we're actually trying out here is, this is a new purple that I got, alien purple. The Army Painters War Paints. So far I've liked just about everything that I've gotten from them. But this is a much darker purple than I typically go for drow skin. Drow skin is just, lore-wise, it's always been purple, or like a shade of purple, usually something lighter. The reason why I'm going with something darker here actually has to do with who this character is. So, maybe I can stand her up. Cool. So, in the lore of my world and in the history of my game, these drow, her team has been on the surface for the better part of half a year to a year. Drow are notoriously in the Underdark. They're miles below the ground, right? So their skin is used to not seeing sunlight. This drow has now been seeing sunlight every day for the last 6 months. And the drow are also canonically, they're nocturnal, so they spend more time out at night. They're sleeping during the day. They block out the lights during the day. This is a leader of that group, though. She can't afford to be asleep during the entire hours of the day. She is checking on things, double checking things, making sure that her team is doing things right. So she's spending way more time in the sun than a drow should, and that's part of the reason why I want to try this purple. It's almost like she's been sunburned. How would a drow's skin handle being in the sunlight so often? Would they turn a darker shade faster? Would they burn more easily? They're more sensitive to sunlight. Their eyes are, for sure, we know that much. But that's what I'm going for with this. Another thing with my elves in general is a lot of their armor is silver and gold. As someone will use as an example, you can see right here. This is someone that I painted a while back. Maybe I can get a zoom in on them. You can see their arm plate, their shoulder plate, their pauldron has this intricate kind of gold design to them. I did that as a way to kind of identify elven armor versus other types of armor. So I'm gonna try to continue something like that with these two pieces. She has a breastplate on, or it looks like a breastplate. I'm gonna paint it as though it's a breastplate. And what I want to do is I want to give it this silver with a gold trim. This is not the same kind of gold that I typically use for these guys. This is a high elf or wood elf, I forget exactly what it was. But drow have moved away from the society that is the surface. So I want to try to replicate that, but I want it to be different and unique to the drow. So that's our game plan. I think we can go ahead and glue this bad boy on. I will say also, it's hard to see, but you can see a little bit of the grooves where my thumb is. These 3D models, you can print them separately from their base, and there is little footholds of where they should be at, making them super easy to glue. So, you'll see I'm kind of rotating her around right now. I'm kind of thinking about what colors I know what colors I want to use, but where I'm looking at is I'm looking at where do I want to use them. So, to kind of introduce you to the colors I got, these are going to be the colors of her, like, outfit. So, like, I could see her sleeve right here being blue. That way it doesn't immediately conflict with the purple. But it is a different shade of purple than what her skin color is. So, that confliction might not necessarily be so bad. Right now, what feels like to me is the easiest path is to make her little half cape be this purple worm purple, and then have her sleeves and her little collar here be this underdark indigo. The reason why we've chosen these two colors specifically is because of the house that she is a part of. These are the colors of that house banner. So, one of the players in my campaign is playing a drow. I want them to be able to recognize, oh shit, this NPC, this mini, is from that house, without me having to say it. I want them to be able to pick up on it. Besides that, this ought to be pretty simple the rest of the way through. We're going to have silver down here in the for the shins. She has the breastplate that's going to be silver. I think where the gold trim is going to come in is going to come in up here on the shoulder guard more. And what I think that'll do is I think that'll make a very sharp contrast compared to this character, to kind of give them that difference. Monty, if you're still in here, this is the NPC, or not NPC, this is the character that you played. This was your Kalisora. Where this is more natural armor, I like that they would have something that's sharp to really contrast against surface world elves. So I think that's where I'm going to go necessarily. I think there's little slots here on the shoulders as well, where this little half cape or whatever it is, I don't know what it's called, where that has like little pins that I can also make gold to contrast against the purple. You look at Romans, whatever, purple and gold is always a good contrast. I should also add, what we're going to start with is, I typically like to paint from the inside out. So you start from the lowest layer first, the most inner layer. And the reason for that is, if I started with, let's say if I started with the shins, no, let's go even further. If I started with the breastplate, that's fantastic. I can get that silver done immediately. However, the moment I go to the neck to try to get the purple skin tone going, that's gonna probably drip over onto the breastplate. It's probably gonna drip onto anything on the back, anything on the back here. So this half cape, the hair, you know, like all of that stuff needs to, if I want it to go on smoothly, all of that's gonna have to go after I do the skin, because the skin is the most inner base layer. After that, I did the pants. I did that brown because it's underneath the belts, it's underneath these knives, it's underneath the sheath. There's so many things that the brown is underneath. It's underneath the shin guards. All of that is stuff that I can paint over top of it. And knowing that those layers are slightly over it, it'll be a lot easier to keep me from painting onto it and having to go back over with the brown. It's a small thing, it's a small mini. Your players probably won't notice this imperfection, but you will, and it will hurt you. I promise, it hurts me every time. So, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna paint the breastplate, and then I'm actually going to do, I'm gonna paint the breastplate, and then I think I'm actually gonna paint the sleeves after that. once I paint the sleeves, I'll probably do this half cape. And then it's finer details from that point on. Because I'm doing the breastplate, I'm also going to do the shins at the same time. Just so I'm always painting the same color at the same time. Now, I said that I'm going to do a golden trim to go with this, but I'm not going to do the golden trim yet. The golden trim is going to come later on. It's actually going to come after I put on a wash. And that's so it really just like, it pulls out that the trim can't be shaded down. I apologize, we're getting to more intricate pieces. So, I might not be able to provide any good camera angles for this. I really hope. I'm going to try to, though. Just for you guys, I'm going to try to provide these angles. So let's see where we're at right now. I just painted the silver. I just painted the those leather straps that are on her leg. I didn't realize that there were straps on her leg until I was starting to paint the silver. That's why I stopped painting the silver, because I wanted to paint these little throwing knives silver as well. So I went through and decided to go ahead and do the leather straps. I did her belt, I did her sheaths, the handles of her blades. Now we're going to go through, we're going to go back, and we're going to grab these throwing knives. Then we will be done with the silver. We should be done with the Minotaur hide, that brown. And at that point, I think we will probably do the cape. And then we will go ahead and knock out these sleeves. And we'll do the hair. And we're ready for a wash, baby. Alright, looks like we've just about reached the finale. So, we were waiting for the wash to dry. We have gold pieces to attach. And we have very, very fine highlights to do, and then this character is done. I'm really liking the shaved hair to the side, and I'm considering giving it some sort of highlight right now. I want it to be something that will not contrast, but complement. I want something that will complement the blue and the white together. And I'm trying to decide whether it's going to be part of the bangs in the front or whether it's going to be highlights at the edge of the hair. I don't want to be purple because purple is too obvious already. I thought about it being this cobalt red, what I painted the towel. And maybe if I just do an extremely light one. Another option could be a different shade of red. Let's see what we got. Alright, after reviewing the arsenal, what I got here is this ghostly blue, okay? And I think contrasting, it won't contrast, it should be able to complement the dark blue that I have, that, what was it, the Underdark Indigo is what it's called. And I think these kind of blues together, especially with the hair being so close to that area, we'll let it go ahead and spin around to the edge of it. So the hair being so close to that area, I want it to be in this front part here, or down near the bangs, I think, or down near the edge of the hair. I think could be really good spots for it. Alright, so we've done our highlights. We've done our wash. At this point, there's not a whole lot else I would like to do. There are things that I could touch up, but I really like where it's at right now. And at the end of the day, this is not a main character for my campaign. This is ultimately somebody who could die tomorrow, you know? So with that, I like the intricacy of the base. I like the way the character looks. I really love the way the pauldron piece turned out. The gold, the sharp gold on the silver, I think it's awesome. I think overall the character turned out really well. We're gonna finish this up with 2 different styles of varnish. If you don't know, varnish kind of helps the paint stay there. These characters are going to be handled by players, but varnish is what ultimately makes your minis remain the way you painted them. It will give those paint lives a much longer shelf life. So, with that, we got 2 varnishes here. We have a gloss varnish and we have an anti-shine varnish. What I'm going to be doing is the gloss varnish is going to go on anything metallic, while the anti-shine varnish is going to go on like your cape, your pants. Basically, it'll even go on the gold for the belt, but in all your major metallic areas is where the gloss is going to show up. And that'll really make the armor kind of pop off that way. And after that, we're done. We're going to get to see the final results, the finished product with this. I'm excited. It's looking good. Alright, I think we can call that a completed project. I think it looks great. The shading really went well on it, especially this, where is it? Here it is. This shadow wash, I think really did a good job of sealing in. You can really see it on the back with the half cape going on. I think the ground doesn't necessarily give off a grass feeling. Paint-wise, sure, it has that green base to it. It has the brown underneath. I think we did a great job with the spider leg. I think it looks a lot like the spider that I was showing earlier. I really love that shoulder piece. The gold on the silver, and it's a darker gold than the mini I was showing you earlier Like, these are good. We can put them side by side real fast. Hold on. There we go. We got to stop right where it needs to be. We can put up this shoulder pauldron right here, so you can really see them together. Like, this gold compared to the other gold has this lighter texture to it, so it really makes the drow, their gold is popping, so it makes them look like they're trying harder to look like the better elven race, is the way I'm trying to portray it. And I think it looks really well together. So, with that, the stream's about to end. Anybody who's watching this, thank you for sticking around all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like the miniature, this was created by Loot Studio. I linked the bundle that has it down below. If you... Oh man, I don't know. If you have a miniature that you want to make, me and the other members of Double Buff have made our own minis through Hero Forge. I played around with Eldritch Foundry, anything like that. If you have a miniature that you want made for your own game, feel free to reach out. I'd love to sit down with you over Discord or something, or even over a stream, and create the miniature that you want on Hero Forge. Sometime I can probably put together a list of all the miniatures that we made over Hero Forge so people get an idea. But if that's something you're interested in, you want your own custom printed and painted miniature, feel free to reach out to us. I'd love to do work with anybody. So thanks again for everybody watching, and if you're not subscribed, I guess go ahead and subscribe, as I'm saying at the end. Ooh, maybe because I'm saying subscribe, maybe that'll like light up the button. That'll be pretty cool. Regardless, if you can, like the stream, subscribe, send a comment, whatever you guys want to do. I appreciate you guys spending the time with us, and I'll see you on the next paint.